So today we will be discussing about the concept of working capital management. So this is through a concept map. So let's start. So first you can say is the core objective. So what is the core objective of working capital management? So when we say working capital management, it basically deals with the balance between risk and return. So if we try to remember, working capital is the answer when current liabilities is subtracted from current assets. So basically, working capital deals with current assets and current liabilities. So the goal here is to achieve balance between profitability and risk. So profitability represents the return and the or risk represents the liquidity. So that's the main or the core objective of working capital management. So as you are familiar, there are working capital policies which are important in understanding the concept. So this is actually divided into two. First is the financing strategies, and the second is the investment policies. So when we say financing strategies, it answers the question, where does the finances came from? So where does the finances came from? So in layman's term, asa gikan ang pag-finance sa project. Secondly is the investment policies. So as part of the goal of working capital management, it's not just enough to know where to finance the resources that we will be needing, but also we need to consider where to invest it, because as in the management's perspective, it is not efficient to finance something and use it into an investment project that will not bear favorable impact to the company. So financing strategies involves these four categories. So these are the main categories. First is the conservative financing strategy. So it is also commonly known as the relax policy. So why do we call it the conservative financing strategy? Very basic. So it is called conservative financing strategy because it utilizes more current assets and less current liabilities. So when you try to look at a certain business, for example, it is usually a normal practice, no, that businesses utilizes more current assets and less current liabilities, of course, for liquidity purposes, in events that there is currently maturing obligations. So for the company to make way finance those liabilities. So since in conservative policy, current assets is higher than current liabilities, working capital is also higher. The same is true with liquidity. So since working capital is higher, liquidity is also higher. So this means that this is corresponds to reliance to long-term financing. So non-current assets. So instead of current liabilities, usually the businesses tend to rely on non-current assets because it's more long-term financing. So the only disadvantage in this strategy is that the risk is lower. Hence, also the return is also lower. So that is the first one, conservative, which most of the businesses used. Second one is the aggressive, restricted. So aggressive, unrestricted. So it's giving more of like an idea that the management or the business is bold to take risk. So in relation to that, it is the exact opposite of conservative because in aggressive finance strategy, it has lesser current assets and more current liabilities. So therefore, its reliance is more on to short-term financing. So in contrast to conservative, which relies more on non-current assets. So in aggressive, the working capital is lower, hence the liquidity is also lower, and the non-current assets is lower because again, current liabilities. I mean, the company relies more on current liabilities. So the positive part of aggressive financing is that there is more risk, which corresponds to more return. Third one is the moderate or the balance. So it is the balanced policy between the two previously mentioned strategies between conservative and aggressive. Matching finance strategy matches the appropriate assets onto the liabilities. So what does it mean? So short-term assets are financed with short-term liabilities, and long-term assets are funded by long-term financing sources as well. So that is about financing strategies. So when we are able to evaluate financing strategies, next question is what is the proper investment policy? So where to invest in these ones? So first, commonly is the permanent assets management, and second one is the temporary assets or seasonal assets. So permanent assets, these are current or fixed assets that remain unchanged over the year. So from the word itself, permanent. Temporary is current assets that vary over the year. So as simple as that. Next, let's proceed with relevant management costs. So first in line is the carrying cost, which corresponds to opportunity cost and storage cost. So actually, carrying cost, this is the cost associated with having current assets. So it is in contrast with shortage cost, which is the cost of not having assets. So I know we're familiar with opportunity cost, the cost per gun, storage cost, and shortage costs. We have here transaction costs and stock out costs. So I would like to reiterate lang with shortage costs regarding stock out costs, while this is unfavorable and considered relevant because in for example, the business has only 10,000 units available, then a customer demanded for 120,000. So that stock out cost of 20,000 will adversely affect your company because the tendency would be maybe the customer will not go back to your company or order again from your company. So that's why in relevant costs related to shortage costs and carrying costs, it's actually important in working capital management. So again, it's going back onto the idea that it's not just enough that you know where to finance the funds, but also, I mean, it is not just enough where to get the funds, but also where to properly invest those funds. Next, the three items are the commonly current assets or say working capital factors that are highly managed by the company. First is the cash and marketable securities. So motives for holding cash. So part of the motive of holding cash are transaction motive, precautionary motive, for example, contingent purposes, speculative motive, and contractual motive. Contractual motive, for example, compensating balance, the amount of cash that you need to maintain for certain account cycles. I think part of cash and marketable securities cycles is one of the most important here because it deals with operating cycle and cash conversion cycle. So for operating cycle, it deals with days inventory and days AR. So if you're familiar, days inventory corresponds to purchase to sale of inventory, and days AR is from sale to collection of AR, sale to collection of AR. So when these two things are added, it corresponds to the equal operating cycle. On the other hand, cash conversion cycle is a concept of time of cash out and time of cash in. So I would like to think it that way. So it is operating cycle, which is what I mentioned above, less the days AP. So if operating cycle deals with this inventory and this AR, conversion cycle is operating cycle less days AP. So these AP or accounts payable is from purchase to payment of accounts payable. So why is it important? Because the goal of company should have a lesser cash conversion cycle. So dapat mas dako ang mabalik or mas paspas ang mabalik sa company. So how to lessen cash conversion cycle? Usually, the usual pattern is to have a lesser days inventory in AR. So make ways to have your inventory sold and your AR to be collected in the earliest time possible. In contrast, you need to make sure that your days AP is also higher, meaning you are utilizing the cash that you have instead of paying it outright to seller. So that is important parts about cycles. Next is cash strategies. So cash strategies are management of cash that are usually made in relation to working capital management. First is accelerating collections. So the very example is lockbox system. So it corresponds to trade-off between cost of savings and the expense incurred in having a lockbox system. Slowing disbursements. So slowing disbursement includes stretching payables, less frequent payroll, payment through checks, zero balance accounts, and playing the float. What's important in cash strategies is the Baumol cash model. So the Baumol cash model actually deals with three important things. First is the demand. Second is the transaction cost and opportunity cost. So it is very important that the management does not only maintain cash as is, because at the end of the day, it will not be effective for the management to hold cash. There should be a proper balance between holding cash and using it. So that is the Baumol cash model. Next is the receivable management. So five C's of credit. What are these five C's of credit? First is the character, capacity, capital, conditions, and collateral. So these are the five C's of credit. Next is the credit policy impact. So common usage is the relaxing credit terms and collection programs. So these are actually part of, I would like to see it as like playing the game of dealing with customers, because there are instances that you can relax your credit terms in order to entice more customers. However, there should be a trade-off between at what amount should you relax your discount rate, for example, given to a customer or given to respective customers. So it's a matter of management policy, and calculated risk should always be considered. Lastly, one of the most important part of working capital management is inventory management. So let's start with inventory costs. Inventory management there are particular costs that are needed to be included. Acquisition and order costs, carry and holding costs, stockout costs. Yet the most important there is the inventory techniques that must be considered. So the EOQ. So if in cash and marketable securities there is a Baumol model, EOQ also follows exactly the same concept with how inventory is being managed. So it actually focuses on to same thing, three things: the demand, the ordering costs, and the carrying cost or the holding cost. So the idea here is to have the least amount carrying costs and ordering costs. So dapat carrying costs and ordering costs should be equal at the least possible amount. So short short background. For example, you are having a you are maintaining a lower inventory in your warehouse. So even if you are having lower holding costs or carrying costs, you still are burdened with having a high ordering cost because since you have a lower inventory in your warehouse, you need to compensate with more inventories as there is a need that arises. So causing you to have carrying costs or more carrying costs in your ordering costs. So again, EOQ normal model follows the same path that it it tries to know what is the minimum carrying cost and ordering cost. So that point where that they are equal in the least amount possible. The order point, of course, is the point where current units are expected to trigger the the appropriate officer to start ordering again. So part of its computation is if there is an optimum safety stock or the safety stock that we call. So just in time is also relevant to working capital management under inventory management since it follows an idea that inventory or materials needed to make a certain products all only incurred when there is a demand or an order. So lastly is the Monte Carlo simulation. So Monte Carlo simulation uses probability and something that in relation to the possible outcomes or values. I think that's it. Thank you very much for listening.